What if episode 7 is the moment everything finally breaks? After everything that happened in episode 6, the people of Fromville are standing on the edge of complete disaster. Boyd has opened a path that should never have been opened. The creatures now have a possible way directly into Colony House. Donna has returned from the brink of death. Henry has consumed the blood connected to the man in yellow. And perhaps most importantly, fear is beginning to spread faster than the monsters themselves. The town has survived attacks before. It has survived mysteries before. But this feels different. This feels like the beginning of something much darker. And if these theories are correct, episode 7 could completely change the future of From. One of the biggest questions going into episode 7 is what exactly happened to Donna while she was dead. The show spent a lot of time focusing on her condition in episode 6. Her heart stopped. She had no pulse. For a brief period, she was technically gone. Yet somehow she came back. Now, in most television shows, a character surviving something like that would simply be treated as a miracle. But From has never been that kind of show. Every event means something. Every strange occurrence usually connects to a bigger mystery. That's why I think Donna's experience will become one of the most important storylines moving forward. What if she saw something during those moments between life and death? We've already heard theories inside the show suggesting that the souls of the dead never truly leave Fromville. Some characters believe the dead remain trapped there forever. If that's true, then Donna may have seen things nobody else has ever seen before. Imagine waking up after death and remembering voices, remembering faces, remembering screams. What if Donna briefly entered the place where all the victims of the town end up? That experience would completely change her. For years, Donna has been one of the strongest people in the town. Whenever people panic, she stays calm. Whenever somebody loses hope, she pushes them forward. She has been the emotional foundation of Colony House. But after coming face to face with death itself, I think we could see a very different version of Donna. Instead of confidence, we may see fear. Instead of certainty, we may see doubt. And instead of supporting every dangerous plan, she may begin questioning them. This could create major tension between Donna and Boyd. Throughout the series, Boyd and Donna have often balanced each other out. Even when they disagreed, they ultimately trusted one another. But what happens if Donna returns believing that every risk Boyd takes is pushing people closer to a fate worse than death? Suddenly, their partnership starts to crack. And that could have massive consequences for the entire town. There's another possibility that is even more disturbing. What if Donna didn't see the dead at all? What if she saw nothing? Absolute darkness. Absolute emptiness. No voices. No people. No escape. Just endless loneliness. That possibility might be even scarier than ghosts. Imagine experiencing complete nothingness and then returning to life with that memory burned into your mind forever. It could explain why Donna becomes desperate to survive. It could explain why she starts pushing harder than ever to find a way home. Because after seeing what waits on the other side, she may realize that staying alive is the only thing that matters. But there is another theory that keeps bothering me. What if Donna didn't actually experience death? What if she experienced reality? Throughout season 4, there have been hints suggesting that Fromville may not be what it appears to be. Characters continue questioning whether they're trapped in a dream, a nightmare, a supernatural prison, or something else entirely. Now, imagine this. Donna dies. For a brief moment, she wakes up somewhere else. Maybe she sees the real world. Maybe she sees where everybody truly belongs. Maybe she sees the truth about Fromville itself. Then, seconds later, she's dragged back. If that happened, Donna could become the key to solving the biggest mystery in the entire show. The problem is that truth can be dangerous. If Donna reveals information that changes how people understand the town, panic could spread instantly. The residents are already terrified. Food is becoming a concern. The monsters remain a constant threat. The man in yellow is becoming more active. And now there is a tunnel leading directly toward Colony House. If Donna starts talking about what she experienced, it could push the entire community closer to chaos. Because fear is contagious. And in Fromville, fear has a habit of turning into something much worse. The biggest danger facing the town may not be the creatures outside anymore. It may be the growing fear inside. And if that's true, Episode 7 could be the beginning of a complete collapse. If there's one character who should be worried heading into Episode 7, it's Boyd. For a long time, Boyd has been the person holding everything together. Whenever disaster strikes, people look to him for answers. Whenever hope disappears, Boyd is usually the one trying to find a solution. But what happens when the people stop believing in their leader? I think that's exactly where Episode 7 is heading. Over the course of Season 4, we've seen Boyd making increasingly dangerous decisions. Some of them were understandable. Some of them were necessary. But many of them have also created new problems for the town. And now those problems are starting to pile up. The biggest issue is the tunnel. By opening a path into the underground area connected to the creatures, Boyd may have accidentally created the most dangerous situation the town has ever faced. Think about it from the perspective of the residents. For years, they've lived in fear of the monsters outside. The only thing that made them feel safe was knowing they could lock themselves indoors at night. But now, that sense of security could disappear. If people discover there's a direct route connecting Colony House to the underground tunnels, panic will spread immediately. Many residents will blame Boyd. Even if his intentions were good, people won't care. Fear changes the way people think. And scared people always need someone to blame. At the same time, Boyd's recent actions are likely to come back and haunt him. There are still many questions surrounding what happened with Elgin. The truth has been buried beneath bigger events, but secrets never stay hidden forever and from. Sooner or later, people are going to learn exactly what happened. And when they do, it could destroy the trust Boyd has spent years building. From the perspective of the town, Boyd crossed a line. He became so focused on stopping a threat that he started making decisions for everyone else. That's dangerous because leadership in Fromville has always depended on trust. The moment people stop trusting Boyd, his authority starts to disappear. And I think Episode 7 could be the first step toward that downfall. What's interesting is that Donna's condition may make things even worse. Normally, Donna helps calm people down. She's often the voice of reason. She's one of the few people who can convince residents not to panic. But if Donna is still recovering, frightened by whatever she experienced during her near-death experience, she may not be able to support Boyd the way she usually does. Without Donna acting as a bridge between Boyd and the residents, tensions could explode. And then there's Jade. Jade and Boyd appear determined to continue investigating the underground tunnels. The problem is that their mission looks incredibly risky. They're essentially preparing to walk directly into the territory of the creatures. Even if their plan makes sense, convincing other people to join them won't be easy. Most residents already feel unsafe. Why would they volunteer for what could easily become a suicide mission? I think Boyd is going to struggle to find support. And that struggle will reveal something important. The town isn't united anymore. Small groups are beginning to form. Different people have different ideas about survival. Some want answers. Some want safety. Some simply want to make it through another night. The more divided these goals become, the harder it becomes for Boyd to lead. But there's another reason I think the town could turn against him. The man in yellow. Every new revelation about this mysterious figure makes him seem more dangerous. What if information starts emerging about how long he's been influencing events? What if Victor, Henry, or someone else discovers evidence proving that key information has been hidden from the town? People are already frustrated. Learning that secrets were kept from them could push that frustration over the edge. Because from their perspective, ignorance has cost lives. Imagine discovering that pieces of the puzzle existed all along, but nobody told you. That kind of revelation creates anger. And anger needs a target. Boyd could become that target. However, I think the most dangerous part of all this isn't the residents themselves. It's the possibility that somebody is manipulating them. One thing we've learned repeatedly throughout From is that fear often benefits the forces controlling the town. The creatures enjoy psychological torment. The man in yellow seems obsessed with manipulation. And chaos makes people easier to control. What if the growing division inside the town isn't happening naturally? What if somebody is actively encouraging it? What if every argument, every conflict, and every moment of mistrust is part of a larger plan? That would explain why things are escalating so quickly. It would explain why hope keeps disappearing whenever the residents start making progress. And it would explain why Boyd seems to be under increasing pressure from every direction. The creatures attack from the outside. The townspeople question him from the inside. And somewhere in the shadows, the man in yellow may be pulling strings that nobody can see. Which brings us to the biggest concern of all. What happens if Boyd finally breaks? Throughout Season 4, we've seen signs of exhaustion. Signs of frustration. Signs that the pressure is becoming too much. Boyd has carried the weight of the town for a very long time. Nobody can do that forever. If the residents turn against him while the monsters become more dangerous than ever, we could witness something we've never truly seen before. A version of Boyd who no longer knows how to save everyone. And if Boyd loses control at the same moment the town starts falling apart, Episode 7 could become one of the most explosive chapters in the entire series. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't the monster outside your door. It's watching the person you trust most begin to lose hope. Out of everything that happened in Episode 6, nothing may end up being more important than what happened to Henry. At first, it seemed like a small moment. A strange moment. A moment that many viewers might have overlooked because so many major events were happening at the same time. But I think that moment could completely change the rest of Season 4. Because Henry has now consumed the blood connected to the man in yellow. And that is terrifying. The biggest question heading into Episode 7 is simple. What exactly does that blood do? The show hasn't given us a direct answer yet, but if we look at everything we've learned about the man in yellow so far, a disturbing picture begins to form. This mysterious figure doesn't appear interested in killing people immediately. If that was his goal, he could have done it countless times already. Instead, he seems focused on something else. Control, manipulation, corruption, breaking people mentally before using them for a larger purpose. We've seen similar patterns throughout the series. Characters hear voices. Characters experience visions. Characters begin questioning reality. Characters are pushed toward actions they would never normally take. The man in yellow doesn't simply attack people. He gets inside their heads. That's why Henry could be in serious danger. I think the blood is going to create a direct connection between Henry and the man in yellow. A connection that becomes stronger with every passing day. At first, the symptoms might seem small. Strange sounds, whispers, unexplained visions, moments where reality feels wrong. But over time, those experiences could become impossible to ignore. Imagine Henry waking up in Episode 7 believing he's escaped from Ville. Imagine seeing his family, seeing normal life, seeing freedom, only to suddenly realize none of it is real. That kind of psychological torture is exactly the sort of thing we've come to expect from the forces controlling this town. And if that's what happens, Henry could become one of the most tragic characters in the entire series. But I don't think hallucinations are the only thing we should be worried about. There's a chance the blood could also affect him physically. Throughout horror stories, consuming something connected to an evil force rarely ends well. The blood may slowly weaken him. It may make him sick. It may change him in ways nobody expects. And that possibility raises an even darker question. What if Henry isn't supposed to survive? What if he's being transformed into something else? We've spent most of the season focusing on the creatures that come out at night. But what if the real threat isn't creating more monsters? What if it's creating servants? People who can move freely during the day. People who look completely normal. People who unknowingly carry out the plans of the man in yellow. That would explain why manipulation seems so important. It would explain why certain individuals are targeted repeatedly. And it would explain why the man in yellow appears more interested in influencing people than simply killing them. Because maybe he's building something. Maybe he's preparing something. Maybe every person he touches becomes another piece of a much larger plan. And if that's true, Henry may only be the latest addition. Which brings us to what I believe is the biggest mystery of all. What is the man in yellow actually trying to accomplish? For several seasons now, we've seen clues suggesting that everything happening in Fromville is connected. The monsters, the voices, the visions, the symbols, the strange rules of the town. None of it feels random anymore. Instead, it feels like parts of a single design. A design that very few people understand. I think episode May 7th begin revealing just how large that design truly is. The man in yellow feels less like a monster and more like a mastermind. Someone who has been moving pieces across a chessboard for years. Every tragedy, every death, every moment of suffering. It all feels connected to a goal that remains hidden. And that's why I believe episode 7 could end with a massive revelation. Not a complete answer. The show never gives away everything at once. But enough information to make viewers realize that the residents have been looking at the town the wrong way this entire time. The creatures may not be the final enemy. They may simply be the guards, the soldiers, the tools. The real threat could be the intelligence controlling everything from behind the curtain. And that intelligence appears to be moving faster than ever before. As we head toward the final episodes of the season, the danger level is increasing on every front. Donna may return with terrifying knowledge. The residents may begin turning against Boyd. The tunnel may expose Colony House to a new threat. Henry may begin losing control of his mind. And the man in yellow may finally start revealing pieces of his true plan. That's why I think episode 7 will be a major turning point. Not because it will answer every question, but because it will push every storyline closer to disaster. The heroes are becoming divided. The enemies are becoming stronger. And the mysteries are becoming darker. Usually, that's the exact combination that leads to catastrophe in From. So don't be surprised if episode 7 ends with the town in a worse position than it's ever been before. Because right now, it feels like every road is leading toward the same destination. A deadly confrontation that nobody is prepared for. And when that confrontation finally arrives, the people of Fromville may discover that escaping the town was never their biggest challenge. Surviving the truth might be even harder. So there you have it. Those are my theories and predictions for From Season 4, Episode 7. If even one of these theories becomes reality, then the next episode could completely change everything we thought we knew about the town and the horrors hiding within it.